You're gay. Hello and welcome back, Ravers. It is season 4, episode 10 of Gay Rave, and I have missed you so much. Girl, it is brick out here. I am seeing temperatures that I have never even heard of these days. What shifted? Something happened, I swear to God, because Mother Nature is taking it out on me. And I would like to think it's because Madame Morrible make it Wicked Witch. I would like to think that's what it is. Every time I walk outside, I swear to God, it's like, the Karasti Karay, yeah. Like the wind is blowing me all over and it's fucking freezing. And listen, I try to not wear a jacket before January, and here I am. She's working my nerves right now. We had the first snow of the year this weekend. I was at the club. I had to walk these streets soaking wet. I was wearing my fur. I was looking cute as hell. For what? For nothing. Okay. So welcome back. It is the third week of my life. We've still been on the up and up. We're doing a great job. Okay. This past week had some very exciting events. First of all, shout out to Raver Kate, who is a part of the Stonewall Choir. And wait, are they called the Stonewall Chorale? Okay. It's their 49th season. And yeah, most of the songs were in Latin. Yeah, I had no idea what they were saying, but it sounded beautiful. And I will say, it was like in a church, and it did remind me of like my childhood, like, you know, going to church all the time and hearing the song. And the organ, a beautiful instrument, underutilized if you ask me. But it was quite spectacular. You know, when I, in the past, have watched a chorus or heard singing or heard, you know, a pitch perfect a cappella type situation, I have thought in the past I could do this, right? Because like most things, I think I could be totally capable of something like this. Like if push came to shove and they needed me to either be a part of it or to instruct it, I could, because I'm capable. But in this moment, I'm sitting there watching this and I was like, damn, they have to know how to like watch the sort of like, in band, they used to call it like the drum major, like watch the person who's keeping time and look at the words and their notes and keep time so that way they're singing the correct note at the correct time of the song in a language that they don't speak and at the proper volume. So I was given a new appreciation. So shout out to Kate and all the people in the Stonewall Chorale, okay, as they go into their 50th season. I do think it's quite amazing, 50 years of this, and it was so beautiful. And then like the band leader or the chorus leader, you know, who had been instructing the whole time, had sort of turned around and got the mic, said a few words, was asking us all to donate, of course. And at one point she was like, you know, look at all these faces. So many youth, so many different people here, all different breeds. I was like, actually, give me my 10 back. I was like, different breeds. And then she goes into this talking point. You know, you never know what you can say these days. God, we were doing so good. Why does it always come back to that? Everyone's like, oh, you know, these days it'll get you canceled. I'm like, you walked into this. You were fine when you said, look at all these wonderful, youthful people. What a diverse group we have. We could have ended it there. We would have been fine. Okay. And yet here I am now canceling you on the internet. Okay. For 100 people. But this week, some exciting things coming up. First of all, Lorde is in town, and I missed her at MSG, so now I'm going to see her at Barclays tomorrow. Step up. Wednesday, they've been doing this comedy about ambition. It's like a Broadway series that they're doing with a bunch of different comedians on different nights. I'm going to that on Wednesday because I picked the night Jon Stewart is there, obviously. I'm really excited about that because actually, a couple of months ago, Virginia was texting me like, what is ambition and what does it mean? And do you have to have a goal in mind to be an ambitious person? Does it have to be directed at something? Does it just mean you're highly motivated? Like, what does it mean? So after getting into that fucking philosophical discussion, pretty sure she was off the gummy at that point. Me, not. Just love a philosophical conversation. So now I'm going to see this comedy about it and hopefully be inspired, as per usual. Okay. So that's this week. Let's hop into current events, shall we? We shall. This year's Pornhub yearly stats are out, and we need to discuss because L for lesbian stay winning, everybody. Let's talk about this. This year, LGBTQ plus people took the top spot in Pornhub's porn stats, lesbian is the top category on Pornhub. Hello! Terms like lesbian scissoring were up 79%, lesbian MILF grew 129%, and lesbian strap-on was up 62%. Can I get dubs in the chat? Also, lesbian MILF? That's a new thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, she has a kid from maybe not being a lesbian, but now she is. I am living for this. Or maybe, like, we don't know, did she carry it or did her wife have it at the time? I have no idea. I'm living for it. MILF, maybe she had this child out of wedlock. We have no idea what her story is, and they don't even care. Me, when I hear lesbian MILF, I'm like, I'm going to need 5 to 10 minutes of that story before we get into the lesbian MILF actual sex having, because I need to know how she became a mother as a lesbian. Like, how did she have the child? Did she deliver? Was it an IVF situation? Was she married? Is it out of wedlock? Is it a dick baby? I am just saying, it's one of those things where people say and you're like, oh, that's like cool and so sexy. And I'm like, I'm actually simply distracted by the theory of it all that I can't really get into it until we address that. Okay. So not for me, but really, really happy for lesbians everywhere. Next, so other terms and diverse categories grew as well, with queer, queries. These bitches love an alliteration. Queer queries increasing 132%, and bisexual is up 88%. Ew. Okay. And mind you, Challengers was several years ago, so this has nothing to do with that lore. Okay. This is just bisexuals up 88%. Bisexuals are up in the chat. Bice, you're up in the chat. Okay. This after that, following it is the MILF category, you know, like mothers or stepmoms. Like, that's a big thing, you know. It's like the third towering category. Other words in the MILF category were mature. Searches for mature were up. All right. People hear this Epstein drama and they're like, I'm not about to be caught with a case. Mature, MILF. All right. And they also had words like natural beauty and no makeup. They were lumping those together with MILF and mature. And to that, I have to say, let these mothers wear a lash. Okay, what do we have against this fucking looking good on camera? I hate to say it, but this is purity culture bullshit coming for us once again. How are we going to be in the MILF category of actual porn and you're still like, you're prettier without makeup? Like, how is this misogyny even seeping into porn? Obviously, porn is deeply misogynistic anyway, but you're already watching MILF porn. Can she not wear a strip lash? Can she not wear an eyeshadow, a color corrector, a BB cream? It's actually pissing me off to another level. Natural beauty. The men hate women so bad. They hate women when we wear makeup. They hate it when we don't wear makeup. They don't give a fuck. So long as they hate us, either way, it's fine. And then after the whole MILF situation, mature situation, was role playing. And what's up in the role playing category is blue collar jobs. Like, someone comes over to fix your sink and then you F or whatever. You get, you know, like firefighters, cops, things like that. And I'm just gagging. Like, the thought that men are like really doing the most in general, but women just want somebody who can like actually do a chore. Like, women just want to see you take out the trash. They want to see you fix the sink like you said you were going to fix the sink. They want to see you like get the cat from the tree, like do your job. So role playing with blue collar jobs being in there, very amazing. I feel like we're going back in time. You know, like when the big costumes used to be like, you know, cop, firefighter, you know, army person, whatever. I feel like we're going full circle in that way. Okay. Then after that was cheating. Cheating porn's really big. Like cheating on my wife, cheating on my husband, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's that lesbian MILF cheating on their wife. We have no idea. Cheating, and then femboys. Okay. We are all up in the chat, everybody. Imagine if you were a lesbian MILF with no makeup and you were a plumber and you were cheating. Imagine how many people you would actually be checking the box for. Incredible. ISO. We need to get on Lex because look at the money that we're leaving on the table. All right. Remember, sex work is real work. Okay. The last category that I thought was so funny is safe for work sexual content on Pornhub. I'm like, you're on Pornhub. First things first, you're already on Pornhub, which ultimately by addition, by subtraction, is not safe for work, okay? But second of all, you want to be watching porn that if somebody saw it, it would be fine. Like, it's not like explicit. And to that I say, go on Instagram. Is that even porn? If you're on Pornhub watching something non-explicit, how about YouTube? Have you tried YouTube? Have you tried Instagram? Is this what gooning is all about? Have you heard of this gooning thing where like people like are staying in a state of like climaxing like all day long? Like they're staying aroused for long periods of time? Is that what it's all about? Like just like watching sort of like semi-sexual content all the time? Answer in the chat. Okay, answer in my DMs because I'm very confused. Why are we watching porn that's safe for work? If you're watching porn, isn't that inherently not safe for work? And if it is safe for work, is it porn? You know it when you see it. Okay, moving on. The government said that they will no longer be using woke fonts anymore. Calibri is what they have been using because in 2023, the State Department switched from Times New Roman to Calibri for all of its official documents because Calibri was easier to read for people with certain visual disabilities and it works better with assistive technologies, including text-to-speech screen readers. Okay? And what they said, Marco Rubio and Donald Trump were like, we are not gay. Okay, and therefore we will no longer be reading Calibri. Add the serifs back, Times New Roman only. And to that I say, is Calibri gay even? Because it's kind of giving like middle of the road neutral to me. So when I think about gay fonts, I'm thinking of like Arial. I think Arial's kind of gay. Comic Sans, you think it's gay, but it's actually straight. It's neckbeard incel high miss. You know what I'm saying? Okay. When I think about Times New Roman, I'm actually like flaming gay. When I think about Times New Roman and those little fucking serifs and that delicate ass font, it's giving the T when SpongeBob couldn't think of what to write in his essay and he was just like going really, really hard on the T, like this really, really fancy T, the first word. I'm like, that's what Times New Roman is giving. Like, it's giving a fancy fucking T. It's giving dressed up. That's gay. Okay? So the Romans? Have you met the Romans? The whole point of like Romans, the aqueducts, gay as fuck. I don't know. I'm just saying Roman architecture, everything the Romans did, pretty gay. Going back to Times New Roman, gay. I think that Calibri was a step up. I think Calibri was actually anti-gay. Think about that. Okay. And someone on Reddit 7 years ago asked this question, like, what's the gayest font? I want to use it. And they said that there's actually a font named for the guy who created the rainbow flag, the LGBTQ flag. It's called Gilbert. Gilbert is a sans serif typeface, a tribute font to honor the memory of Gilbert Baker, the creator of the LGBT rainbow flag. So if you're ever using Gilbert, no, it's for the gay guy and it is an extra gay font. Okay, moving on. Other current events. Jojo Siwa just dropped a cruise. Jojo Siwa, ABM, always be marketing. There is nothing that this woman will not do. I wonder if her mom is still in charge or if like Jojo has a say yet. But she just released a 3-day cruise out of Miami in June. Okay, so during Pride Month, she's going to be taking people. I'm not sure if this is for children or adults, unclear. But the offering says there will be concerts, bow making, dance classes with Jojo. What is this for? Who is this for? Are we filling a cruise ship with JoJo fans? Are you a JoJo fan? Okay. Is it for kids or adult? Unclear. The marketing could have gone either way. I was like, is it for gay people or children? The marketing was exactly the same. Okay. Should we? No, stop. No, stop. Wait. No, we shouldn't. Okay. Speaking of shit that we should or should not be doing, Camp Rock 3 is coming. Okay. When I'm telling you, Camp Rock was my high school musical, okay? Caroline and I, we essentially camped out in my living room to watch the drop of Camp Rock because we were a big Jonas Brothers fan, okay? We ate an entire cheesecake. We went to Stop and Shop and got all of our treats and our snacks just for this release. And it was a home release. It was not in a theater anywhere, okay? And this was when, oh my God, giving the main character, the girl named Mitchie, I was like, oh my God, I love girls with boy names. Why? Gay, lesbian, LGBTQ. Okay. So they're making a Camp Rock 3 and it's like 15 years probably after the last one. And I'm worried that not even 20 years can make these people good actors. And I am not talking about Demetria Lovato, okay? I'm talking about those Jonas Brothers. I know Nick has dabbled. I don't care. I really don't think we're getting there mentally. And also, by the way, if you were into Joe, you're gay now. Okay? You're gay now. Also, Jonas Brothers making their way to Barclays, I think, or MSG on the 22nd next week. Should we go? I'm thinking about getting a ticket. I'm really in my bag these days, okay? So yeah, they're making a Camp Rock 3. Not sure what the plot is. Pretty sure they're just there for the shits and giggles, right? They're there for the dollar signs. That's fine. Not sure how many dollars you're going to be making off of this endeavor, but okay. Really curious how it's going to work because Demi and Joe in the series were sort of together. They've been through their trials and tribulations plots now twice. I'm like, they better not have another tribulation again because at that point they're probably married. We're talking divorce at this point. We're talking lesbian MILF at this point, okay? So I'm really wondering what it is. If it's about shutting down the camp again, I'm like, we've already exhausted this plot. Really curious what they're going to do there. Very, very excited for the songs. Okay. Camp Rock 1 gave me so much pick-me energy. It was inspiring me. The final jam. Oh my God. So incredible. Okay. Moving on. Let's talk about the funeral stud. On TikTok, there is this stud who was singing at their friend's funeral an original song. The song is called I Wish That Heaven Had a Phone by Niece Robinson. And they wrote this song because they had a friend pass. And they have her singing her song at her friend's funeral. And it's the one that's like, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, release them. And it's like balloons that get released. Oh my God. If my death does not inspire you to lay down a track in the booth, you're fake as fuck. Like, actually, I find this so inspiring to me. She really looks like, and I'm not just saying this because he's sort of back in the like zeitgeist again, Kevin Gates. Like, Kevin Gates is suddenly like back in pop culture again. And it's being roasted, obviously, because he's doing the whole like, I'm beefing with my chick when I'm in jail meme. But Funeral Stud is something different. Funeral Stud not only sang at this funeral and went viral, she had this song ready to go on platforms. So now she's actually making money on it, which I find quite beautiful. Platforming somebody that is good, check. Okay, given all the horrors, I'm like, let Funeral Stud have her moment. And if it comes out that she's done something bad or she's canceled, I will revoke this. I will take it back. I give a fuck not. Okay, moving on. First rave review, we need to continue this discussion about heated rivalry because I'm just not over it, okay? This is just like me. I watch one fucking show and then I become obsessed with it because I never watch TV. And finally I watch scripted television. I'm like, wow, turns out this is amazing. Okay. So it just got renewed for season 2. Congrats to my boys. There is this guy. He was in I Love LA and he was really, really critical. Like, this is not how gays have sex. And like the two main character guys have not talked about their sexuality in their real life, in their personal lives. And this guy from I Love LA, this actor, was really critical of them. Like, so like you're living the plot of the show, so you won't come out. So if you're playing these roles and you're not gay, it's actually crazy. Like, just come out then. I'm asking you like what you are, come out. And I sort of think that's bad and we shouldn't do that. And I'm sort of like, I don't know if these like, closeted hockey players from 2014 are having the sex that you as an LA gay man are having right now. And maybe that's the point. Have we walked into the point? Unclear. Do I want to beat this guy's ass? Absolutely. Not in the heated rivalry way, in the fighting way. Okay. So, do I think that there are flaws? Of course. The criticism that there's no plot? Of course. The criticism that everyone is too sexy? Of course. But it's based on smut, people. Okay? It's based on smut. And gay male culture is very looksist. So is it not just reality that everyone needs to have a six-pack and always be drinking smoothies? I don't know. So I like the dynamic that they've created. Like, all of the gay people that they're showing us are in positions of leadership, and coming out is something that they're afraid of, or even if they understand their sexuality enough to come out as gay. Like, the plot, the new characters that they introduced in episode 3, which I'm obsessed with, by the way, one of them sort of like knows he's gay but won't come out due to like the potential losses he would make. He's like, I got a lot of people who are like on my payroll who rely on me and I can't risk these sponsorships and shit. And I'm like, it's 2014. I suppose 2015 was when it was sort of legalized. And I'm like, drop Trump in this plot. I'm like, when's Trump gonna come in here? Let's get let's get real life politics in here. Where's Justin Trudeau? I'm like, maybe let's bring Twitter into this. I don't know. We have beef on the internet. I feel like there's more we can be doing. Get Ellen on here. Where's Ellen? I feel like she would have these kids on all the time. Are you kidding me? So what I'm saying is, I like the dynamic they're creating. I think that it is interesting to watch. I'm curious to see what happens. And my little boys are so cute. Like I said, my Russian, we did get validation from a real Russian, hashtag Alina, Raver Alina, that his accent is good and it's not just me. So suck my ass, okay? But what I think is crazy is this whole like, not wanting to risk like their masculinity. Like they're in leadership positions, and if they come out as gay, or if people know that they're gay, they won't be acting any differently, but people will treat them differently, right? I feel like that's the whole point. It's that they risk like the respect of their peers, or their peers feeling potentially uncomfortable, or feeling like they lose masculinity because of that. And I was like, lose masculinity because you're gay? I can't think of a more masculine thing than a man having sex with another man. Like, I feel like that is actually doubling the amount of men in the equation. It's like the most masculine thing that you could possibly do. Oh, like, so you want to beat his ass in the hockey ring, but not in the bedroom? Get a grip. Release yourself from the grips of masculinity. Wrestling? You are all oiled up in your little panties rolling around. Get over yourself. Women just want to see you fix their sink. Women are not asking for you to be in your little panties fighting each other to the death. We just want you to be doing housework. Take out the trash. Be my plumber. This is not, is it for us? Is it for the ladies? You guys should kiss. Okay, I find that crazy. All right. So if you're going to be in your panties, you should be kissing. I like it. I think it's complex enough for me. I love my smoothie king. I love when they were having sex in this last episode, these two men, and they were sort of looking in the camera. I was like, me? Are you? Oh my God. I was finally blushing a little, like, oh my God, you guys, stop looking at me. I felt like I was in the cuck chair, but I was simply watching a television show. Don't worry. I got my shit together. All right. I got my shit together. Moving on. Grave reviews. We're going to have to touch on something that it's a larger narrative, okay? So Shannon Beveridge has been in sort of like the social media situation for like over 10 years. Shannon Beveridge is a lesbian with a podcast who really got her start on Tumblr. Oh my God. I don't want to say 20 ye10 to 15 years ago, for being like queer at the time, really got her start there, and then became YouTuber, so like very much like a YouTuber / Tumblr celebrity, like gay celebrity. And then she sort of came into more pop culture when she dated a famous artist named Fletcher, and they did all like videos and some music stuff together. And then she dated another person in pop culture as well. So now she has like podcasts and YouTube series and things like that. Really heavily like lesbian following, like the OG internet lesbian, I feel. Okay, so that's who Shannon Beveridge is. And she recently cut her hair off. She did the lesbian rite of passage, the mask rite of passage, and finally cut her hair short. Okay, and I am not making any commentary about this. I am so happy for her. She said that she'd been wanting to do it for a long time. It's a scary, scary thing to do. I know there's a lot of social elements to it, a lot of self elements to it, like a lot of comfort that you have to find within yourself in order to do that. And I'm really proud of her for doing what she wanted to do. I think that's fantastic. Okay. But when she cut her hair, she's been saying like, she's really figuring out how to style her hair, and her hair when it's short, it's curly and it's always been really straight. So she's not really sure what to do with it. But she had referred to herself in a video as a tomboy, and her people on the video really didn't like that. And so she responded to the critics saying like, I didn't invent this word, okay? And I just used this word and I've always used it, and maybe you shouldn't come after me about that because I didn't invent it. I just used it. And I know I'll use different language in the future. And the energy was really giving like feel for me type vibes. Like I am the victim of this criticism, which I hear that. It must be difficult to hear. And listen, if Shannon wants to call herself a tomboy, I don't think that's anything like cancelable. Do I think she should probably use a different word? Sure. I think tomboy, I don't know if it has roots that are like bad for other reasons. I don't think it's wrong enough to be like, oh, Jana, get off the internet type vibes. But it's this like victimization thing that I think's been happening for a while. Like in her post saying that everyone shouldn't be mad at her, she was like, oh, I think I'm shadow banned. Like my content's getting no views and likes. I don't know what's going on. And when she got her haircut, she was saying that she was worried and she didn't do it sooner because she was worried about losing her audience. And I was like, girl, what audience? Your audience is gay. The name of your podcast is literally Alphabet Club, and you're dating a very famous influencer named Teffy. So I feel like everything's sort of going okay right now. And maybe we should just try to say things that are more relatable or reconnect with our audience in a way. Engage them, ask them questions, talk to them about your vulnerabilities. It feels like this versus thing, like the internet was on her side for a while and now it's not, and she resents them. And so that's my grave review. It's sort of this like, we need to bring this back down to earth. And really the cherry on top of this whole like villain plot she's playing out in her own head is that she was at Ashlyn Harris's birthday party. Ashlyn Harris, who is notoriously and infamously like the person who divorced Ali Krieger, a very, very wonderful soccer player. Like they played for the same soccer team for years. They are like soccer love goals. They got married, and then Ashlyn Harris, they adopted 2 brown children, and Ashlyn Harris apparently like served divorce papers to Ali unbeknownst to her. So Ashlyn Harris then is now with Sophia Bush, and they're all like publicly in love, yada yada. So Shannon Beveridge, of course, villain of her story, goes to Ashlyn Harris's birthday, who is also Ashlyn, villain of her story, victim edit type energy. I was like, damn, my ops are fucking linking up. Like mullet hair mask with a full beat, link up. Like Ashlyn and Shannon are both bitches who cut their hair and have this like little curly mullet style but still have a full lash on. Girl, we need to skip a couple chapters. We need to move along. We need some self-awareness. We need some understanding, okay? Because it's starting to piss me off, all right? Embrace reality, all right? Embrace reality. Please do that for me. Speaking of embracing reality, you know that I am a woman on a mission to figure out who the fuck I am. And it is so frustrating. I cannot. At this point every year, I'm looking back and I'm thinking about, wow, I thought I had it all figured out last year, and that girl had no idea what was coming for her. But the gag is that's me every fucking year. Every single year, I look back and I'm like, she was living in a fool's paradise. It's like when Patrick when SpongeBob goes back to his house and he's like, who are you people? Like that's me every year. I'm like, ha, that girl thought she knew who she was. If only she saw me now with all of my self-knowledge. And the gag is like, it just doesn't end. Like self-awareness has no deadline. There is no end point. You just always are doing it because you're putting yourself in different situations and you're figuring it out and you're surprising yourself, and new things are happening in the world and you're meeting new people. And that's what makes it so, great and beautiful, but also so humbling. I have not had a year go by where I'm like, oh my God, I thought I had it all figured out. And now I do. And now I have it figured out, or I have learned so much this year. When will the learning stop? It never fucking ends. So I do find it quite humbling and beautiful in a way, and so frustrating that I was just merely a fool. And every year I feel so proud. I'm like, oh, if that girl could only see me now. She had no idea what was in store for her. And it's great. And I'm happy that there are things in my life that are happening and they're keeping me alive and they're keeping me fresh. But god damn, is there ever going to be peace? Answer, no. Okay. So that's my can I say something for today. My I'm sorry. Oh my God. My I'm sorry goes out to all the people who had to see me out in the streets yesterday. I am in a snow boot deficiency right now, let's just say. And as you all know, I am a super bitch on the sidewalk. Like I am a menace. I am always blazing trails. I am speeding by people. Nothing pisses me off more than people who can't walk right or can't walk fast. Okay. You know this about me. And so it snowed Saturday night all into Sunday. And I threw away my Tims, or gave away my Tims, because I knew I was going to order new ones. And I have an abundance of shoes, but none that are built for snow. I should not be here. Okay. I'm not built for this Northeast life. All right. So I am in the process of purchasing Tim's right now, which we'll talk about in a second. So what I wore yesterday out to volunteering and to Kate's chorale concert and to Five Guys was sneakers. So I'm wearing sneakers, and so I have to walk like I'm skating on ice. After walking around all day, you know how like you're walking kind of hesitantly because you don't want to slip and fall and look like an asshole? Like my ankles were sore. My fucking ankles, because I was like walking so tentatively all day. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is gonna kill me. Okay. And I almost experienced empathy for my sidewalk enemies, but I still didn't. Okay. Don't worry. It was killing me to walk that slowly and that hesitantly, but I did it. So I have these Tims coming in the mail. And I ordered these Tims from a replica company. It's like a sneaker dupe company. So I used to use Coco sneakers for like off-white Jordans and like Jordans, like authentic looking Jordans. They do exact replicas and dupes of designer sneakers. Okay. So on Reddit, there's a whole duplicate page. I used to use Coco sneakers. They shut down. And now I use PK sneakers. It's like Perfect Kicks. Okay. And they have all these like, vetted brands there. So if you want like a verified source, go there. But if you've never bought from a dupe company, they have a really, really funny process of how they do things because they're all like in China. Okay. And so the Tims I wanted were the authentic replica Louis Vuitton Timberland collaboration. And I have wanted them ever since Cardi B posted in these Louis V Tims and a do-rag and a wife beater calling herself Dykey B. And I know you want me to cancel her for that, but I'm not. I was gagging. I hate to say it. I loved it. And so I've been thinking about these Tims ever since. But the real Louis V Tims collab, that's a $5,000 sneaker. Okay. That's a $5,000 shoe. And I am not built in that way. The way my accounts work, I'm checking into savings, not to quote Kevin Hart here. Okay. So I was like, I need to go to my guy. They had it. Perfect. So when you're purchasing from a dupe site, you essentially put the shoes in your cart and you check out, but you don't pay. Okay. So you check out through the website, you get a receipt and an order number. Then you send that receipt to their email or their WhatsApp or their WeChat or whatever, right? You send that receipt and you say, where do I send the money? All right. Then they write you back and it's either like PayPal or WeChat or another way that you send the money. This one was PayPal. You send it through friends and family so they don't get fees or anything. So you order on the site, you don't pay. Then you let them know you ordered. Then you pay on PayPal. Then you send them back the PayPal receipt and they hit you back and they say, okay, perfect. I'm going to go to the warehouse and send you like your actual shoe and then I'll ship them out. Because it's like quality control. They want you to see the exact shoe they're going to ship to you and make sure that you're comfortable with it. Okay. So a couple days go by and I get 10 images in my email of the shoe they're going to send me. So it shows like, it's like a real Timberland box with like the Louis V tags. It's got the Timberland like embed in it. It's got Timberland on the bottom. It's got the Louis V tag. Oh my God, it looks amazing. Okay. So like they do measurements. I've got this shoe in every single angle, the top, the bottom, the side, all good lighting. And they usually have the date, like a newspaper with the date on it or like some way that you say like, this is the date. And they have your shipping paperwork there. So like I'm looking at photos with the shoes I've purchased and there's my name and address and a shipping label in every single picture. I'm like, okay, this is great. And there's a Labubu in them. They really are adding charm to it. Okay. So then I like do the measurements because I want to make sure like the US men's size is matching like the size that they measured out and it all looks good. Then you send them back. Yes, the shipping information looks good. The shoes look great. And then in 15 business days, you have your shoes. So catch me ready for this snow in 15 business days, aka probably in February because of all the holidays that are happening. Also, they're coming from China and I could be living like a sort of like a Temu plot where they disintegrate upon utilization, but I'm really hoping that doesn't happen for me. Okay. But I am a little worried. Like this did cross my mind for a second. If I'm wearing these Louis V Tims, they're fake, out in public and I'm like sort of giving them wear and tear and I'm really not caring like if they get dirty or ugly or whatever, is that going to make people think that I'm like really loaded and that they should rob me? Because if I see somebody who's like really nonchalant with their designer shit, I'm like, oh, they must have enough money where they could just buy a new one. Okay. So I would rob them. So if people see me in these Louis V dupes, they're not going to know they're dupes because they're so good, but they're going to think that I have money, and so they're going to rob me. Okay, so that is something I'm thinking about. So I'm sorry is for a lot of things. Okay. Song of the week is Hammer by Lorde in honor of seeing her tomorrow. The whole album is really good. I feel like it talks about her relationship with like her body and this past relationship that she was in, like will I ever love again, and like the hold that you have in these people, and a relationship with her mom and being a daughter. I think it's really, really good, but don't Lorde for too long because that will send you down a bad path. I did see that she does Liability as an encore song, Ribs as an encore song. Say goodbye because I am going to be a puddle of tears. A puddle of tears that I will be walking in with a sneaker because I do not have my Timbs yet. Okay, this has been amazing. I have missed you so much. This has been Gay Rave. I am the Gabby L, and the L is for say it with me. Love you. Bye.
That's what she said. And you know what? What was that? Okay, James.